Okay, in this video, we are going to add a menu system. So let's go into our source folder and we're going to create a new folder. We'll call it Windows. So here we'll just put like our main menu, our game over window, maybe our inventory windows, things like that. Okay, then in Sublime, we will make our main menu files. So I'll start with the header, I guess. So pound if not defined, main underscore menu underscore h, pound define main underscore menu underscore h, pound end if. And we can save that in our include as main menu.h. Save that, and then I guess just include that. Include main menu.h, and then save this in our source. Windows main menu.c. Okay, so then we want our main menu function, and this will return an integer. And what's it going to take in? Well, first it will take in the number items, and second, it's going to take in a character array containing the items to display. So char star, we'll say choices and empty brackets. Okay, so what we're going to need is we're going to use ncurses menu.h library. So it's kind of included with ncurses, and it just allows you to display menus. So we can add that at the top here. So pound include menu.h. Also, just a word, I've started to each header file, I'm not going to add additional include statements to it. Yeah, I'm not going to add additional .h. Well, wait a second. We need this in here. Let me think about this. Okay, so menu.h gives us access to certain definitions, such as menu star menu. That's so this menu object here. We now have access to it because we've included menu.h, okay? But the only function definition that we're giving at this point in main menu.h is going to be this main menu function. Any other functions that are written in here are going to be called from within the main menu. So because the only parameters that are listed in here are int number of item or integer and char star, we don't need to add this include statement into here. So before, what I would normally do is I would add any include statement that is in this file, I would add in here. But that kind of clutters things up. So the idea of a header file is somebody's going to open it. They're going to be able to quickly see what functions they have available to them. So if they're like, well, how do I draw a main menu? Or if we're like that, we only have one option, and it's this function, and we don't care about anything contained in here. So that's kind of something I've started thinking about. And I don't know if I have the right answer. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts on where to put your include statements, let me know. Okay, so we do need this menu star menu item. We also need an item star star items. So this is our main menu. This is kind of like the end curses menu, and then these items are what goes inside of it. And we also need to malloc this. So equals malloc size of, and instead of doing item star star, we're going to do star star items, which is the name of this, and then we multiply that by the number of items. It's just a new way of calling malloc that somebody posted on Reddit for me. So, okay, so let's see. We have our items. We're going to now loop through them. So we need an int I, and for I equals 0, I is less than number items, I plus plus. And then we're going to do items I is equal to new underscore item. So this function call is an ncurses menu.h function, and it takes as its argument 2 arguments. The first is the title of the menu item, so that's going to be choices I, and then the second is the description, and we're not going to have any descriptions, so just empty string. Okay, so let's see. And then, so this will go through all the items and add the title to the item. And the last item needs to be a null pointer. So what we're going to do there is items I, which is now the last one, which makes me think that this needs to be +1. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure there. Okay, let's see. So equals item star and null. So we're just saying, hey, when you get to here, you're done. Okay, so now menu, our top object up here, is equal to new underscore menu, and we're going to cast it to item star star, and this is items. Okay, so now we have our menu created, and now what we do is we call post underscore menu, and that will put it to the screen, and menu. Then we can refresh. Now we're going to create a menu loop. So this was what's going to let the user pick which option they want. So we're going to do while true, and we're going to get user input. So we need another integer, call it C. So C equals get char, the ncurses equivalent. We're going to do a switch statement on C. And so our different cases. Now, ncurses comes with some options. So we're going to do key underscore down. And so that's just the down key. And we'll call a function called menu underscore driver. And again, this is just a menu.h function. We pass it our menu, which is menu, and then the flag req, or req down, req, what is that? And item. So just like that, then we break. And then same thing for case up. So just copy that. So case up, and then change that to up. Okay, so that should allow, oh, we need semicolons. That should allow our user to cycle through the options, and then we're going to do a case 10. Now 10 is actually enter key. So enter key. And when the user enters, we want to get the current item. Okay, so for that, we're going to add another item pointer up here. So item star current. And we will call current equals current underscore item, and pass it our menu. So that will just give us the current item that it's pointing to. Now what we can do, we'll get another integer value, int, call it value, and we're going to call value equals item underscore index current. And then we're going to close our menu. Actually, I'll write this now. Might as well. So we're going to write a function that will just kind of clean up our menu, because after we hit the enter key, it's going to exit the menu. So we'll put that up here. So close menu, it's going to be int, and it's going to take in integer number of items. It's going to take in menu star menu and items item star star items. Okay. And for this closed menu, we're going to first unpost menu. Sorry, unpost underscore menu. So that just takes the menu off of the screen. Then we're going to free our menu. So free underscore menu. Then we are going to loop through all the items. So we'll need int I. And we'll say for I equals 0. I is less than number items. I plus plus. For each of those, we will call free underscore item. So again, these are all just ncurses functions. Free underscore item, items I. And that's it, I think. Yep. So this should actually be void. Let's make that void. Okay. So that closes our menu. And then we're going to return our value. Okay, so that's a fair amount of code without seeing any results yet. So we now have a function that takes in the number of items to show and the corresponding descriptions for each item. And we go through, using ncurses functions and types, we create this menu, we post the menu, then we go into our menu loop and we accept user input. Okay, so where are we going to be calling this? Well, let's open up our main file. And let's do a bit of cleanup here. So first thing, I really want our main function to be very minimal. And there's way too much going on in it right now. So let's open up our screen.c as well. And we're going to move these global variable definitions out of the main and into our screen, because they have to do with our screen setup. So just put those in there. Okay, now, I guess for now, after our screen setup, we can call our main menu function. So main menu, and remember it takes a number of choices, so we'll just pass it 2 for now. And then we need to declare a character array. So called it char star choices, and the empty brackets equals curly brackets. I guess this will be start game for the first one, and end game will be the second one. So end game. Okay, now we should be able to pass that. Oops. Okay, we should be able to pass that to our main menu function, and we should include it as well. So pound include main menu.h. Oh, and in our make file, we're going to copy this, paste it, add a new line character there, and then change this to Windows. Because remember, we added that new folder, so our makefile needs to know that there is now new code existing here. Okay, let's, I think we can make it now. See what errors we get. Okay, in function main menu, incompatible implicit declaration. Okay, yeah, so we need to include standard lib for our malloc. So include standard lib.h. Cool. Make right. Okay, so we need to add all these arguments in to our close menu. So get rid of these. Save that. Make undefined reference to unpost menu. Okay, so in our make file, just like how we have this -l, which is -library end curses, we need to add -l menu to our C flags. Okay, so make that, and it worked. Cool. So now we can make run and see what segfault we get. Oh, we didn't get a segfault. Okay, so we have a menu. Now, when I'm typing the arrow keys, nothing is happening. So I'm going to Control-C to quit. The reason for that is we need another initialization. So in our startup screen setup, we need to add in, I believe it's, I have it here. So key pad standard screen, comma, true. So what this does is it allows ncurses access to the kind of like system keys, which should be the arrow keys and like F1, F2, etc. I've had some trouble with it working with the function keys, but this should get us working with the arrow keys for sure. So let's recompile this, and we will make run, and now we can switch between the two. Okay, now if we hit enter on one of them, I think it's just going to start the game. Yeah, okay. So, so it's displaying, but it's not doing anything right now. Okay, so we're going to continue to kind of pull things out of our main function. We're going to create a, let's do, I can't decide, do I want void, do I want int? It doesn't really matter, but whatever. So menu loop. So this is just going to, we're gonna have a lot of loops here. So while true, and this will just call our main menu. Then we'll define an integer. Oops, breaking convention there. So int choice, and this will just save the user's choice. And then we can do different things with it. I guess we probably want a switch statement here. So switch on choice. Now, What I'm also going to do is in our main menu, MainMenu.h, I'm going to add a enum. So enums, if you haven't seen them before, they basically associate words with values. So what I can do is I can do start_game, because this is our first word listed. It now, whenever I've included this MainMenu.h, whenever the compiler or whatever sees start_game, it's going to associate it with the value 0. And I can also add quit_game. Okay, so if you remember, we're returning the value of the item index. And remember, start game is the first item, so that's going to be equal to 0, right? The value of it, because that's its index. 0-based index, start game has an index of 0. End game has an index of 1. Okay, now in our enums, quit game has a value of 1, and start game has a value of 0. So we can now use these two things together. I'm just going to quit this. Okay, so in our menu loop, we switch on choices, and now we can just add case. Does choice equal start_game, or does it equal case quit_game? So it's just kind of a nicer way of looking at it. I could have put 0 and 1, but this is just a bit of a nicer way to read. It reads nicer. Okay, so if we start game, then we want to go to our game loop. So our game loop doesn't really exist yet, but we're going to write it. And game loop will return integer. Okay, so our game loop is really right here, right? So we're just we'll take the create level game thing as well. We might change that at some point, but for now we can just put our game creation in our game loop as well. We definitely will change that at some point. Okay, so level star and position star can go in there. And yeah, so then this also goes up there. Okay, so we pretty much gutted our main function now. It's right now doing screen setup, and well, this is supposed to be in the menu loop as well. Yeah. So our main function is now setting up the screen. Needs to call our menu loop, and that's about it. So that looks better. Yeah, okay, so let's recompile, and whoops, there's a space there. Okay, and let's see what happens when we run. So make run. We're not actually doing anything when we quit game. So when we quit game, we want to return. Yeah. Okay, so we'll remake. So if we start game, it starts. Cool. And what if we quit this? Oh, it goes back to our menu. And if we end game, it quits. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so after our game loop, we probably want to clear the screen. Yeah. Okay, and then we also, so it's our menu, and we also want our character to be able to die. So we're going to add an if statement in here. So if, I guess level user, yeah, sure, why not? Level user health is less than or equal to 0, then we're just going to return -1. So make that run, start game. To die, we need lots of goblins, and I only see 1 goblin here, so we can't die. 1 goblin. There we go. 3 goblins is enough. Okay, so we'll attack this guy. You can see down here our health is at 8. That's actually better. Normally after killing a goblin it goes down to 7. Okay, now it's 7. And we'll just get to this guy over here. And 4. Boom. We are dead. Cool. So yeah, we now have a menu option. I tried to print it in the middle of the screen, but that gets into a whole nother ncurses library, and I didn't want to add that in here. So maybe later we'll do that. We need to add a dead screen, a game over screen. But yeah, so I was pretty excited when I got this going. So maybe we'll start working on inventory next, or multiple levels. One of the two. Thanks for watching, guys.